Cabinet took some important decisions. The Cabinet approved a landmark draft bill on land acquisition.
It's an indication of our government's sincerity of commitment to accelerate the process of project clearances.
It is neither pro-industry nor it is pro-farmer. In fact, the bill is very pro-bureaucracy.
The land acquisition bill will expedite land acquisition. Currently, under the old bill, it has taken very long, and in many cases, land acquisition has not fructified at all.
India weathered the crisis very well in 2008, and I'm confident that the steps we have taken and some more steps that we will take in the next few weeks will help turn the Indian economy around.
Reforms have gathered steam, with the Cabinet approving the long-pending land acquisition bill among many other measures. But will the land acquisition bill be a win-win for the industry and the farmers? And will it help boost growth and development? That's the question we're asking on We Mean Business today. I'm Shweta Rajpal-Kohli. Let me introduce our guests on the show today. I spoke earlier with NC Saxena, member of the National Advisory Council, also with Mr. Adi Godrej, chairman of the Godrej Group and president of CII. Also with me here in the Delhi studio, Mr. Ajay Dua, former secretary in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, and Aditi Phadnis, political editor of Business Standard. Also joining us on a link, Mr. Vikram Singh Mehta, former chairman of Shell Group of Companies in India. Thank you all for being with us. Let me first straight go across to my interview with Mr. NC Saxena on his reactions to the land acquisition bill. Mr. Saxena, you have said quite clearly that you're disappointed. What are the reasons?
I am a bit disappointed with the bill because on the whole the bill is both anti-farmer as well as anti-industry, but it is very much pro-bureaucracy and pro-civil society, because what has been done in the bill is too many committees have been created, too many civil society members have been inducted in the process, and there is no delegation, with the result that even if you have to acquire 1 acre of land, it will need at least 3 years, and the file will pass through about 200 hands, which is not in the interest of industry. The whole project would get delayed. The other problem is that the consent clause has been kept right in the beginning, which means that as soon as it is decided to acquire some land, a committee would be set up, a committee will go and ask farmers. At that point of time, farmers do not know whether what is the compensation package, what is the rehabilitation policy, and therefore they are not in a position to say yes or no. So the 60% or 80% clause is meaningless. What will generally happen is the state governments will totally bypass this clause and they will acquire land for government and not for the industry. They will transfer that land to a land bank, and ultimately from that land bank industry will take land. So therefore all the progressive clauses which have been put in the bill will be nullified. That's one. The other point is, we had suggested in the NAC that generally in cases of land acquisition, when land is acquired, say for urbanization, government will give it to A and A will pass it on to B and B will sell it to C. And every time the prices go up, with the result that land prices in areas where projects come up have gone up by sometimes 100 times. So we had suggested that every time land is sold, there's 20% of the difference should be given to the original landowner, so that the landowner has a stake in the high market price. This has been diluted, this has been removed, which is very disappointing.
Okay, sir, let's talk about the entire consent issue. Many actually believe that 80% consent of the landowners is a very fair way of going about it. What, according to you, could have been the other mechanism?
Well, the better way would have been that government should be negotiating with the farmers and try to convince them and take their willing consent. And of course, many farmers in many areas are quite keen to get out of agriculture and move to some other occupation. So therefore, they would be very happy if they get a good compensation plus good rehabilitation package, provided it is given them quickly and not have to wait for such a long period, and it should be given in installments, maybe monthly installment. All that has not been done, and there is an upper limit on the compensation. It cannot be more than twice the market value. So with the result, what is the point of negotiation? Once you have a cap on compensation, the entire purpose of negotiation and consultation with the farmers loses its significance.
Right. So basically what you're saying is that twice the market cap, you're not happy with that clause because you believe that the farmers or the landowners could have got even more. Is that right?
That's right. That's what I'm saying, that farmers could have got much more. Maybe in some areas they would prefer to get more. If in case they are not willing to sell their land, go to some other area. So putting a cap is not a good idea at all.
Okay, so let me now elaborate on why you call this anti-industry. Of course, you cited delays as one of the reasons, but other reasons why you believe that this bill is anti-industry.
I am calling it anti-industry because, as I said right in the very beginning, it will result in a lot of delay, and it will mean that because of this cap, farmers will go to the court, which will again be delayed, result in delays. Let's not forget that in any project, land is a small cost. It is not more than 2 to 3%. Industry should be very happy to pay 5 to 6%, provided land is made available to them as early as possible with the willing consent of the people, so that they don't go to the court, and it will also result in good relations with these people with whom they will work. They will have their CSR in that area, etc. But all this will be nullified because farmers will go to the court. It will result in delay. Even if they don't go to the court, as I said, making the file pass through 200 hands and appointing a large number of civil society fellows who would be roaming in the new Lal Batti Wali Gadi, that is not a good idea. There should have been much more delegation to the collector, and collector should have been given the powers to acquire up to, say, 5 or 10 acres of land or 20 acres of land. That has not been done.
And you also disagree with those who actually call it a pro-poor or pro-farmer bill. That's something that you clearly believe it is not.
In fact, the entire debate on land acquisition has been misinformed. People have been seeing it as farmers versus industry, or poor versus rich. It is not so. In fact, both will benefit to gain, both if you have correct kind of policies. It is quite a possibility to have a win-win situation, because, as I said, land is a small cost of the entire project. It is the delay which is enemy of both farmers and industry. It is the bad relations. It is the uncertainty caused by going to the court, which is not fair. And the bill is so complicated that the state governments will bypass many provisions, and they will just acquire land only for government, and they will say that we are developing a land bank and we are passing out land to that land bank, and ultimately it will go to industry. So therefore it is cheating, in fact cheating the farmers, so it is anti-farmer.
All right, very strong statements there from Mr. Saxena, saying that it's actually cheating farmers. Mr. Saxena, before we let you go, a quick question on the entire remark you've made on civil society and this bill being very pro-civil society. Do you believe that the government's been under way too much pressure from civil society of late?
Yes, you are right that because civil society is very vociferous and they write articles in newspapers, and they put a lot of pressure on government. So government is under considerable pressure to appease them. and therefore committees have been set up which they would be chairing or they would be members, and there are not one or two, many committees of this nature, and they will all get government vehicle, and they will all travel on government account, and they will be very, very happy. So it is giving jobs to a large number of civil society fellows who, I'm for industry, I'm for farmers, I'm not for civil society, I'm not here to give jobs to them.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.